Welcome, everyone, to the newest edition of Hammer Time, the Camp Edition, Week 1, March 22nd, 2023. I'm filming this. I'm ready to go, man. It's camp season. It's absolutely exciting time. I've been waiting for this all season, and I know you Mauler fans have too. So they reported the camp on this past weekend, had a couple meetings. But the biggest thing that I see from the USFL is that the social media presence has stepped its game up. Finally, we've gotten something that we want as fans, as guys that follow this league, ladies too. And it connects the fans to this team. A lot of these players aren't big name players. I know we have a few on the Maulers, but you've got guys like Savion Williams and Jerome Brown and even guys like Dale Warren and Boogie Roberts. They're not name brands for the entire country right now, but the social media presence is helping the fans connect to these guys. You get to see them. You get to see fun little skits like who's going to win March Madness, or you get to see them talking in a huddle, or you get to see them running a few drills or agility tests, or they're in meetings or anything like that. The one thing I will say, this past weekend, there's only one team that was able to run drills, apparently. I don't know what the rules were, but I could tell you that looking at all the social medias for all the teams, only the Stars were able to, I don't know, Case Cook is passing to his receivers. The rest of them seemed like it was very orientation kind of things, agility test, meetings, installing the offense and the defense, special teams, all that kind of stuff, game planning. But the Stars were the only ones that were out on the field actually like throwing the ball around, which was kind of weird to me. But to go back to this social media presence, the league has stepped up its game. It's taken that step forward for season 2. Season 1, we're all in Birmingham. Everyone was in Birmingham, all the teams, everything. But that was season 1. Season 2, now we expand a little bit. We're in 4 hubs. Now you get to see these guys on a daily basis multiple times. It absolutely is way better this year already, and I'm excited for it to continue. One of the biggest things this week on social media were the helmets for the Showboats and the Maulers. We're still waiting for the uniforms, and that's fine and dandy. But currently, we got a new fresh look at the helmet. I know it's been kind of leaked around. It's been kicked around quite a bit. I think Coach Tomlinson had it on his Twitter, but now it's official. And you got the yellow stripe down the middle, the yellow hammer, the hammering guy just hammering away. It's time to drop the hammer and we're ready to go. But the league did a very good job with the Showboats and the Maulers being different enough and releasing helmets on the same exact day, but being different enough. I know the players started to leak it a little bit, and I think the league tried to get in front of it. We're still waiting for that uniform, but the social media presence with the Maulers helmet was fantastic. And the same thing with Showboats. I'm going to definitely give them props too. Then we talk about this.
Anything you want to predict or anything for the 2023 season before we do drop the hammer?
Yeah, I predict the Maulers winning the USFL championship.
All right.
From last to first is going to be a wonderful story. I feel like that's going to be the biggest story of the year, not pizza. It's going to be the revenge tour. And people feel like we're just saying that right now, but I feel like by the end of the year, that catchphrase is going to be huge. And just know me and you started it here first.
All right. I got you.
Yeah.
So Boogie came on the Hammer Time in early January. I was honored to interview the face of the franchise currently, the guy that everyone knows on the Maulers. And he came out and said, this is what it is. It's a revenge tour this year. They went 1-9 last year. It's time to go. Do we really need to have a revenge tour for all 8 teams in the league? Because currently right now, you got the Stars and the Breakers. They're using the words of revenge tour. Everyone makes a joke about it, and I keep tagging Boogie in it because I think the league is missing an opportunity here by not creating different slogans for every team on season 2. Like, are we really waiting for the Stallions to use revenge tour? Or maybe the Generals or the Panthers or No, this is Boogie's and his team, the Maulers. He said it in January, not when Case Cook is signed in February, because the league decided to use it then. Not when they were running drills on Sunday when everyone else was sitting at home. They decided to use it then. Not with the Breakers. This is the Maulers thing. I think the USFL community is behind that because Boogie did say that, and that the team is embracing that revenge tour kind of thing. And the league needs to recognize that there's only one revenge tour, and it's in Pittsburgh, and it wears yellow and black now. Then the other big news since our last episode, I took a week off because now we're ready to go for 12 straight weeks, right? It's at 12, 14 weeks, whatever. I didn't even count. I just know that every week we're going to have a show on these Team Wednesdays. Coaching announcements were the coaches were announced a week ago, officially. If you follow me on Twitter, you kind of knew most of the coaches. The one name I did not know was Alex Wood. Alex Wood is a veteran coach. He played at Iowa, played for running back before Hayden Fry. Hayden Fry went on to have a Hall of Fame career at Iowa, and Alex Wood played before him. He's an older guy. He brings that veteran. If you look at his stops throughout his career, he's won at Miami, University of Miami, back with Gino Torretta, and he was a running back coach with Dennis Erickson as the head coach. He won in Minnesota with that 99 offense. He was the quarterback's coach for Dante Culpepper. Think about that. Dante Culpepper had one of the most prolific passing seasons of the 20th century in 1999 with Randy Moss and Chris Carter and Robert Smith, and they basically were a missed kick away from being in the Super Bowl. And Alex Wood was the quarterback coach. That offense was very high powered, and Alex Wood did that. Then he also coached at Arkansas with Houston Nutt for a couple of years, position coach. Then he also got a head coaching job at James Madison in the mid 90s. And then 2015 to 2017, he was with Florida A&M as the head coach. He's been coaching with Delaware for the last couple of seasons, but now he comes to the professional ranks again. And I think it's really important to think that this is an older guy to a relatively younger staff. The Maulers just got a head coach that tends to be defensive in Ray Horton. Their assistant head coach, Darren Horton, tends to be a defensive coach. So it brings some veteran leadership to the offense side of the ball to help John Tomlinson. I think it's a giant get because if you get a guy with head coaching experience and he's doing a position, he can help out more and he can hit the ground running. So it's not going to be a big, long to do, and he's trying to learn his role and all this kind of stuff. Alex Wood's been around long enough that he can hit the ground running. And not to say, he is coaching probably one of the best position groups in the league, especially for returning guys. When you got Trey Walker, Bailey Gaither, Delvon Hardaway, Jalen McCleskey, who's returning, RJ Young. I don't know if you've seen that. Jalen McCleskey played last year. He's not a new name. And then Isaiah Henney. You got those five coming back. Plus you add a Hunter Rising and then a Samson Nakoa and Bo Tanner. And then you add a Josh Simmons, who's a spring league veteran. It's a great position group and probably one of the most difficult cuts in the entire league and definitely on the Maulers. So Alex Wood's going to play an important part for this team. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do. Talk about camp. Camp's been about a week right now, about 4 or 5 days, I guess. I'm filming this on Tuesday. It's going to come out Wednesday. And talking with some players and some coaches on the Maulers. There's 3 names that keep coming up. And I'm going to highlight them right here because I'm really excited about these guys. We're going to start with the bottom. Dale Warren. Dale Warren is one of those superstars, personalities. He's high energy, class clown, always dancing, moving, smiling, talking to his teammates. Dale Warren's one of those guys that you got to follow on Instagram or Twitter or just follow the Maulers page because they're highlighting him a lot. He's just like Boogie. He's a big personality and brings a little bit of swag to the Maulers, and I'm excited to see his role grow with Coach Hull as his linebacker coach, and then obviously the Hortons. Vaughn Taylor. Talking to 2 people kind of said the same thing, and I was like, wow, that really stood out. Typically you get, especially 2 days in, you get statements that were that are kind of like generic, like, oh yeah, he looks good. Oh yeah, he does this. But the biggest thing is that Vaughn Taylor from Morehead State, free agent signing, edge rusher, outside linebacker, defensive end, kind of hybrid, is bigger than expected in a great way. So he's stronger, he's faster, he's taller, he's bigger. And one of the biggest positions that the defense has to find out who's going to be a replacement for the guys that have left. Carlo Kemp. Carlo Kemp is a big hole to fill. I believe his snap count was about 96, 97% on defense when they were using an edge rusher in traditional defense, traditional Horton defense. Vaughn Taylor, that position is open. It's an open competition. There's quite a few guys lined up for it. But Vaughn Taylor came back and surprised a few people. Well, not came back, but introduced himself to the team and surprised a few people, including coaches and players. Then the third one is probably the biggest name in the league. Reuben Foster, the legendary Alabama linebacker, played for Nick Saban, went to the NFL, struggled, got hurt, kind of had to recoup the last couple of years, COVID, all that kind of stuff slowed it down. And now he's ready to come back and earn his way back to the NFL. And I'm super excited to see this one. It's obviously the biggest name. He's probably the best linebacker in the league historically since the 80s, obviously. This version of the USFL, Reuben Foster, there's no one better right now. With all due respect to DeMarcus Gates and Scooby Wright, Vontae Diggs, Jared Fernandez, yada, 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 Frank Ginda, all of them. Reuben Foster might be historically the best one. But the best thing about him, he's coming in asking questions. He's coming in tip-top shape, like scary good shape. I'm really excited to see him in this defense, and I want to see him hungry. I'm not saying he wasn't hungry in the NFL, but I think you're going to see that when he hit Leonard Fournette on that punt return with the LSU. He just came down the field. He was very, very hungry. And I'm excited to see him flying around the entire team. The entire field, doing all different types of things for the team. So next week, this is the new format for Hammer Time. Next week, hopefully we're going to see the jersey reveal. I'm hoping it's sometime soon. We only got 3 weeks left or 4 weeks left or whatever, or 25 days, right? So we got a little bit over 3 weeks left. The jersey reveal has got to come out. I would love to see it. More camp insight, talking to the guys, watching social media. I'm really excited about this team. This team brings a lot of energy, and if you watch them on social media, you're like, wow, like I can root for these guys. And then, of course, I'm gonna be joined by one of the bigger personalities in the room. Dale Warren will join me sometime this week for next week's episode. But remember to subscribe to the USFL Network YouTube channel so you can get this show and all the other team shows that are coming out. We got Breakers Weekly. The Captain's about to start a new show for the Showboats. Yeah, of course, you got Table Talk with Ace. This show, and we've got Dog and Pony Show. No one's even heard of it yet, but we got a couple Stallion shows possibly in the mix. But it'll be Team Wednesdays, so every hour we're going to release a show, and my time slot is 5. So I got dinner time. So watch your dinner, watch Web, Hammer Time, Hammer Down. Let's go.